Hey, what's going on? How you doing out there today? It is Monday. That means it's the Monday Minutia here in Uncle Steve's Lounge. I am Uncle Steve, and I'm happy to have you all in here with me today as we kind of tone down on the celebration from yesterday and kind of get back to life, back to reality, and see what we need to do for the rest of the year to get this team to be more consistent, get some winning times in here on some consecutive weeks. What do we need to do? And that's the question I'm putting to everybody. Give us one change that you would make coming out of the bye week to continue the winning for your Atlanta Falcons. Put that on your mind. We'll talk about it after this.
You're in Uncle Steve's Lounge. You're in Uncle Steve's Lounge. Gonna sit down, have a good time. You're in Uncle Steve's Lounge. You're in Uncle Steve's Lounge.
What is going on? How are y'all doing today? It is September 29th. Man, every time I blink my eyes, it seems like this month and the year just keeps going faster and faster. It seems like it feels like only a few months ago we were just finishing the off season for 2024 and waiting and waiting and waiting for the year. And not only is the year here for the 2025 Atlanta Falcons and football season in general, hey man, already 1/4 of the way through the schedule. And at least Atlanta Falcons are at 500, 2-2. Of course, we would have loved to be better, but it felt good to get back on track in many a ways as far as winning is concerned and as far as quarterback play is concerned, offense is concerned. It just seemed like there was quite a bit going on where, that doubt starts creeping into the fan base, and it has an ugly head sometimes when you start kind of listening to the whispers of who should go, who should stay, who's messing up. And then you go all the way back to, why did we build the Benz? Why did we have the franchise anyway? Just all kinds of regroup, kind of see where we are and move forward in the regular season. I am your Uncle Steve. This is Uncle Steve's Lounge. This is what we call the Monday Minutia. What we usually do is come back 24 hours after the game, kind of get a vibe on what's going on in the fan base, see if there are any changes from yesterday. Is anybody feeling any different about what went down yesterday? I know everyone's had a chance to probably go back, especially fans like myself, go back, look at the film, see if it's anything that we missed. I do that all the time. That's one of the things NFL Plus is very good, where they have the replays where you can see the game. They got the all 22 camera if you're into that. where you can kind of dissect exactly what's going on. But I wanted to start with a question today. Well, before I start with the question, again, come on in, Uncle Steve's Lounge. If you're on YouTube, make sure you hit the like button. Appreciate you all joining us and spending your time with us. I'll dive into the chat in 1 second. If you're on X, formerly known as Twitter, we appreciate you all joining on there. Feel free to comment on there as well. You can comment on there if you want to chime in on something that we're talking about. And then, of course, those of you on Facebook, we appreciate having you in the audience as well. Wanted to get to a quick story before I started, and I probably need to go get it. I guess it's right over here, but I'll spare you all. So, of course, you know, this April they had the draft, and when we got the draft, to give the NFL a lot of credit, they're very good about usually right after the draft, you get the player, and you order the jersey, and you usually pretty much get it maybe a couple of weeks afterwards. So this year we had two. We had Jalen Walker, and then we had James Pierce Jr. Well, Jalen Walker, his came right on time. James Pierce Jr., I kept seeing processing. And all the way through the summer, through the OTAs, through training camp, through the preseason, and even at the beginning of the season, I kept going back and I said to myself, I was like, man, what's going on with this jersey? Lo and behold, this past weekend, I finally got the thing saying it shipped. And it didn't show the picture on there. You have to go to the screen to see exactly, push the link to see what it is. And I looked at the link and I say, I be dog. The Pierce jersey finally came. And when I looked outside, Saturday. I looked outside the door Saturday, and there it is, almost 6 months later, but James Pierce Jr.'s James Pierce Jr.'s jersey is here. I guess I say better late than never as far as that is concerned. But if you're spending that much money, sometimes you expect a little bit quicker reaction. But we'll forgive them for a minute, especially coming off a big win, 34-17. Again, Michael Penix with a very much a redemption game. For now, the Atlanta Falcons, they're probably in a good place with the fans going into the bye. And there is a bye this week. For those of you who don't know, we will not play this week. So give you opportunities, some of you all, to do some of those things you're supposed to be doing on Sunday with your family. That's such as I. But it's coming this week. But the next week, we start in earnest. We had 2 primetime games, one with Buffalo on Monday night here in Atlanta. And then the next week, we go to Santa Ana and play the 49ers, who are doing well. Both of those teams combined 7-1. So we probably have our hands full. So I do want to ask, and if you want to go in depth, that's on you. But I'm only going to ask for one thing. Give us one change you would make coming out of the bye week to continue the winning ways. One change. If I had to make one change coming out of the bye, I would try, if I were the Falcons, and this is just putting that general manager's hat on for a second, I would try to see if I could get an upgrade on the flip side of AJ. I'm a little concerned when he's not there that Mike Hughes is pretty much your number one cornerback. No disrespect to him as a person, but as far as somebody that I'm expected to, if and people are going to get hurt when nobody's going to go through the year with everybody being healthy. I would love to see Mike Hughes as possibly a backup because I think when we go down and look at our cornerback depth next to the wide receiver room, that's probably the room that we need the most help with. So if I had one change to make, I know you all probably got 80, but I'm going to ask you to refrain from the other 79 and just give us one change that you would make as far as the Atlanta Falcons are concerned. I see a lot of people already starting up here in the chat, so I'm going to go ahead and get right into it. Again, appreciate everyone joining us for the Monday Minutia. Starting us off is Southside Rick. Rick said, what's going on, everybody? Falcons Nation over. Everybody, rise up. Victory Monday. Indeed, indeed. T. Walker is in here. What's up, T? How you doing, bro? Said, add more play action from under center with Tyler and Bijan in the I formation, especially in short yardage situations. Hope all is well. On good with you too, man. They did have the one formation that they had both guys in, but they split Bijan actually out into the receiver position. And I think that's because I think that was after Mooney was out, if I'm not mistaken. And that's another thing. Hopefully we get some good health coming into this after this week, get everybody healthy and back on the same page. That's going to be very important going down the stretch. This is where your depth is important, without a doubt. Winston Thornton is in the house. One half of the eye test. They'll be on Wednesday at 10 p.m. Make sure you check them out. They are going to be probably giving their opinion on what happened this past weekend and what they need to do going forward. We can look forward to that. Barbara Ridley is in the house. What's going on, Barbara? That great win. Let's beat the Bills too. Rise up. Why not? Why not? I think everybody has already, in their early mind has already circled it as a loss. But as we're seeing with even yesterday, the week before, the difference between a win in the NFL and a loss is so minuscule. It could be a punt, it could be a turnover, it could be one blown play. And as the Chargers-Giants game showed you yesterday, you just never know. Even the Saints, who are pretty much, I'm assuming unanimously, everyone is saying is the worst team this year. They put up a fight. They went up to Buffalo and didn't lay down for a little bit. So we can't take anything for granted as far as that's concerned. But, yeah, get the mentality to beat up Buffalo in here. David Starks is in here. What's up, Dave? He said, what's up, Steve? Improve these special teams. They were better yesterday, but that's not saying much after Carolina. They've been inconsistent, to be kind, this year. So weird because they started off not horrible. They were lights out against Minnesota. Special teams were really good against Minnesota. Then all of a sudden, the last 2 weeks, and I saw a couple of little things when the guy ran straight up the middle and did a little do-si-do with the last person in line. I kind of, what's going on with that? So coach needs to, special team coach needs to get together and see what's going on as far as that's concerned. ATL Skate Man's in here. He said, the one change I would like to request is an Uncle Steve Coach Low remix, video remix part 2. Man, let me tell you something. My features are, I need to be paid for my features, Skate Man, and Low don't have the money for me, man. Low, I asked Low for a raise after we did the video. That's all I got. Like Low was treating me bad, man. So I'm pretty sure there'll be some shenanigans going on. Hopefully we'll get back to that to you. That was fun. We had a lot of fun doing that video that day. Dre is in the house. What's going on, Dre? Y'all make sure y'all check Coach's Corner out on YouTube. They just started up officially last week. Very good show, good information. Y'all make sure Keely and Coach and that's it again, Debbie, on there, and they'll give you some good stuff on there. He said, continue the multi-look of the running back and not solely focus on Bijan Robinson. Get Kyle Pitts more involved and give the baby Falcons all the burn on defense. And they're showing up. One of the things we were concerned about going into the year was how these young Falcons were going to adapt. And shout out to Jeff Ulbrich, man. They said these guys were going to get some run, and they're getting some run. And for the most part, they're showing up. I don't know if y'all saw, again, Jalen Walker drew 2 of the holding calls against Washington yesterday because they were having a hard time containing him coming in. So even though you don't see the stat sheet reflecting it, trust me, these guys are making an impact on this team. Carl Thomas is in here. What's up, Carl? He said, I love this Falcons team. They responded back and in the right way, and Penix is special. So interesting that you would put it like that. And I thought you could come back out of a 30-0 loss, and you could do one or two things. You could say, oh, Lord, the season over with, which was a refrain from a small section of our fan base. Or you could come back and say, you know what? We got 14 more of these bad boys. The season not over with. Let's go. And I really think, and they left a lot on the bone in this game. I'm not trying to say they have arrived and they're the next coming after this. The offense was great, but, you know, the ultimate goal is for that complete game. You may not achieve it, but the closer you get to that goal, the more games we're going to have like we had this past weekend. And I think the team as a whole really did a good job. Winston says, want to keep winning, stay committed to the run, and let the rest of the game come off of that. It worked with Minnesota and Washington. The run unlocks our offense. Can we just stop for a second and give a shout out to the offensive line? How everybody was doom and gloom when McGarry went out and the blind side. And the offensive line has actually done a pretty good job. When you gave Penix that time, not only was he hitting the passes yesterday, they were going in there with fire. They gave him an opportunity to stay in the pocket, make his reads, and do what he needs to do. When you're doing things like that, that's fine. We already knew what the run game was going to look like. The run game was awesome yesterday. Again, 128 yards from the guys yesterday. That's some good stuff. That's a great point, Winston. Barbara says, Mooney is so fragile and we need him. We the only team in the NFC South to win yesterday. Yeah, I love the fact that we were the only one. I'm concerned about my brother Mooney as well. Raheem gave his presser today, and he kind of sounded like it might not have been as much by his tone. So who knows? I mean, we'll see. Hamstrings, as we know, are tricky, so we'll find out. Monte Carlo is in the house. What's going on, brother? He said, I've been carouseling everyone podcast with glee all day. Quality content, brother. I appreciate you, man. Thank you so much. We got a lot of good folks out there in the Atlanta content creator space that brings it. Different opinions, different ways of doing things, but the one common denominator that we have is we all care about what goes on with our Falcons. And I appreciate that, brother. David says, also more consistency in the run defense. We kind of gave up. So we gave up 147 yards rushing. I don't want to diminish the fact that's a lot of yardage. We had two really bad breaks. We had obviously the 48-yard run that was just horrible, missed tackle, and to your point, the gap discipline was horrible on that. And then you had the Mariota run for the first down. That was when they had got pushed back to 1st and 30. And I was sitting next to my seatmate, and I was telling him, I said, "Watch they get this first down, and I'm gonna be so mad." I am, but hey, we won the game. But you're right, we got to do that. Out of your Falcon mind. So great to see those guys back doing some content on there. Y'all make sure y'all check them out. Again, as I always used to tell them all the time, I miss the back and forth with John and Mike and what they do and what they bring to this space. So it is awesome to see them. Y'all make sure y'all check them back out. They are back on air, and good to have them back. He said, so nice to see the team respond to whatever that was last Sunday. Isn't is going to bring the fans back to that stadium. I was not shocked that we didn't have that juice. The juice wasn't there yesterday. I'll gladly say this. Of course, when the moments happened, you heard the excitement of the fans that were there. It wasn't the juice of the Tampa game. It wasn't the excitement. And this is not saying the Spirit Squad didn't do their thing, the regular fans who were there, but it just wasn't a lot of people there. A lot of Washington folks. A lot of people gave up their tickets probably early. Said, "Oh, man, 30 to zip. Let me sell my tickets to the Washington folks," which you have the right to do. But a little disappointed in that. But, you know, you got to perform. And if you perform, folks will come. When you win, they'll show up. So you got to win and make it consistent. Rusty Moore's in the house. What's up, Russ? He said, one thing I would change is D. Alford. Instead of cornerback, I would probably move him to a spot he would perform better, like, say, Walmart. I don't even know what happened with that. If y'all remember, D. Alford was kind of a late arriving free agent this summer because they didn't re-sign him earlier this year. And then all of a sudden kind of slipped in the back door and like, oh, D. Alford's back on the team. Like, where did that come from? But, yeah, that's why I say I would rather have Mike Hughes in that role and for us to, scan the airwaves and see if there's anybody else we could bring in here. That's what I would do. Big John Higgins is in here. What's up, John? He said, Uncle Steve, what's happening? Yeah, we got to win. 2-2 was my worst start. I'll take it now. Coming off this bye, we have to go on a run starting in 15 days. Yes, we do. In order to be taken seriously, you have to. Rick said that was a good game, though. Happy to see they didn't get down on themselves after last week. And that's the psychology of the game. I was talking about that to my buddy, as the aforementioned Big Low Country Sports. Y'all make sure y'all check him out on his YouTube channel. I know he will probably come on today or tomorrow because I don't think he was on last night. So y'all might check him out then. But the psychology of this game is real. I was looking at that Green Bay Dallas game yesterday, and for the first quarter, it seemed like it was going to be a rout. And you looked at the energy of the players, you looked at everything that was going on, and all it took was a blocked extra point. And when they blocked that extra point, it's like something woke up in Dallas. Like that just woke them up. And Big Mo is undefeated. That's kind of what happened to us last week at Carolina. I think you saw Michael Penix react to some, whether it was the communication in the headset, whether it was people not doing what they were supposed to do, whatever it was, it rattled him last week, and you saw it. Great for him to come back, especially with these so few games as an NFL starter. Great to see him and the team bounce back. Dre says, always forget to get on my sports page. After that win, I've been on a Bill Withers kick. Man, he was so underrated and a talent like no other. Absolutely. Absolutely. No doubt. John said Uncle Steve also coaching staff has to do better, especially on the offensive side of the ball. I'll sit back and watch. We always appreciate it, brother. Rick said Kyle Pitts is in for a big year, a huge year. Yeah, I said it yesterday. He's been on his game so far. I like what I see. Let's see if we can keep it up. David says, and please let's get healthy. I've seen enough D offer and hope Mooney's hammy isn't serious because I don't know about Casey Washington. The jury is out on me and Casey Washington. I know he ended up getting one pass yesterday, but I just, whether Mooney, whether it's Drake or whoever is out, that's what ended up happening. Y'all know that in that Tampa Bay game, right? When Drake got hurt and Mooney was already sketchy, and we had Cordero Hodge in there as our top option, I think that really hurt us that game. I think we are a healthy wide receiver in that game from being 3-1. But hey, it is what it is. We'll see them next time. Georgia, Texas boys in the He said, "What's up, Uncle Steve and Falcons family? The new era is here. The Atlanta Falcons will rise in 2025." You gotta love that energy, man. To just still have that, and we're 2-2, and sometimes folks do that only if you're 4-0 or 3-1 and stuff. But that was a big win yesterday. That was a big hurdle for the players. I can only imagine the fans who had to deal with all the Carolina ridicule last week. I'm sure they're they can say they have a 30-0 win under their belt, but they're in second to last place in the NFC South. So as you see, they can be kind of almost Alabama, Georgia, like Atlanta is the only team they can beat, especially Bryce Young. Barbara says we need a cornerback bad. Hopefully AJ is back for the Bills. Judging by Raheem's rhetoric today, it sounds like he might be. That's what he kind of sounded like he said, but we'll see. Tim is in the house. What's up, Tim? He said, "Man, yesterday got me pumped. I was excited for what I saw. Hopefully that momentum can continue." I think it will. I think you're not going to see the effort that they had against Carolina. I can't promise that you're not going to see 9 wins in a row, but I think you're going to see a better performance overall from the team. So, we'll see. Carl says, "Got to get a Watts jersey. He's special." Yeah, I know, man. He might be the next one that I got, but I usually get the number 1 draft picks. Those are the guys I'll get. So I just continue in that kind of tradition. But hey, if Watts keeps showing up like he's doing right now, I do have a Jesse jersey too. But yeah, Watts might be the next one. Kashido in the house. What's going on? How you doing? Thank you for joining us here in Uncle Steve's Lounge. Again, as y'all coming in, make sure y'all hit the like button for us, whether you're on Facebook, YouTube, or on good old X. We appreciate it. Rick says, "Sign or trade for number 2 corner or third receiver." I probably put that receiver in there too, because I just don't know who we go to. Now, don't get me wrong. You always got the Swiss Army knife in Bijan, but what if Bijan has to pay attention to make sure he's running the ball, which he's going to do? It's good to have that other person, because I don't know how many more Ray oops I can deal with. And I think after that first pass, I don't think they want to throw to him anymore. I think when you see, you're like, come on, bruh. Come on. I need you to catch the ball. Carl says cornerback, it has to get upgraded. So that's another. I see 3 votes for the cornerback. It might have been 4, actually. And that was actually the one that I was saying. The cornerback position. Cornerback position has to be upgraded. Big Red is in the house. What's going on? Before Red comes on Saturdays with Red, Rev, and Coach. They do their thing on Saturday mornings on YouTube. Y'all make sure y'all check them out, man. Good stuff he always does. He says more up-tempo offense and deep throws. And speaking of deep throws, Red, man, I mean, that throw think about what he did. He was still running. And he didn't do one of those. Y'all know how we used to do when we were kids, and we used to go back and there have to be that extra to throw it like Matt Ryan used to do. God bless Matt. But he was on the run and he flicked that thing about 40 yards on a dime to Drake. And really had a nice one towards Casey Washington too, but Casey didn't have the speed to catch up with that pass. But I agree with you. I want to see more of the deep pass. That's right. Ray, what's going on, man? What's up, Unc? I saw some swag yesterday. Well, I mean, listen, I'm not telling you the fans who are normally there. So let me make sure I clarify this. There is a 40% 40 to 50% folks that are there all the time. I'm not talking about us. I'm not talking about those fans. I'm talking about the ones who bought the ticket for a social event. The ones who bought the ticket so, hey, when my favorite team comes to town next year, I can come. Or the ones that bought the tickets so they could sell them to everybody else for $25 over market. I'm talking about if you come into a Falcons game and you come in, it was this kid with his mom, and she had the son and the daughter, and boy, he was so hyped. And look, he might have been about 7 or 8, had his little jersey on, and I was messing with him in the row, and that's what I'm talking about. Just that type of energy. I'm not saying there wasn't any swag in there yesterday, but I just think we need more. I think we need to have that home field advantage, almost like you have in college. When you go to hostile environments, I want that energy like when we went to the Minnesota game and I went to Minnesota and Penix them couldn't hear from the very beginning. That's the energy that you want starting off. Like that. I'm not saying we weren't loud, but you got to be louder. Make our home field advantage something. John says, I agree, Uncle Steve. I would change cornerbacks and definitely wide receivers. Either Ray going to play some football and catch the dang ball, and Mooney going to stay healthy, or he has to go. Paying Mooney a lot of money too, man. I know his health. I have to be careful when I talk about health because, obviously he doesn't plan to get hurt, but at the same time, you gotta be careful. Ray says variety of offensive formations. To me, it would dequies, man. You going college on me with these words, man. Hold on. Help me out, brother. Rick says it's definitely a high probability that we could upset Buffalo. Listen, if the Saints can play that as tough as they did early, then why not? Bobby D in the house. What's going on? He said, happy Monday. No gripes, no concerns with the birds so far. I hate killing this momentum with a bye week, though. It's kind of interesting. There are two ways to look at this. And you're right, Bobby. Getting back off the pine, putting up 34 points, and I'm telling you, if we had 5 more minutes, we would have scored a touchdown on that. They weren't playing. They were running plays to run out the clock so they can, get a guy 20-something yard field goal. So, but if we had 5 more minutes, we would have scored easily on that last drive that gave us the field goal, but we didn't need to. So, Mike in the house. What's up, Island Mike? He said, hey, need a number one wide receiver. Mooney is not it, always hurt. Yeah. I can't disagree with it. He also says our special teams suck and need a new coach. They did a little better yesterday, but there were a couple of them that just kind of scared you. And if you think about Washington, they had a couple of big plays. The Rodriguez run, the 4th and 6 fourth and whatever it was, where Mariota threw probably the best pass he's ever thrown in his history of his life to Debo. They had those plays, but other than that, it really, you see the 27, but homeboy kicked a lot of field goals yesterday too. I don't know. Yeah, Dre said, okay, Miss Deb. I thought it was Miss Deb. I thought that was her name. Yep. Got it. Rick says, "Oh, big low key sweat treat you like too close." And not pay. Yeah, man. Low, we try to lowball us, man, with all these features, man. I need to have some guarantees in these contracts before we start doing these videos again. Need some guarantees. I'll talk to him about it. Mike said, "I called it 3 sacks a game. We close so far. We are. And we putting pressure. More importantly, we're putting pressure. You don't always have to get the sack, but one of the results of these little quarterback sneak outs that we're getting, and we've given up one every game. Every game we've given up one. Gave a couple to Baker, one to JJ, couple to Bryce, and one to Mariota. And we weren't moving the guys around like that the last couple of years. And I think that's a good thing. Now we need to figure out, keeping your gap discipline and making sure that you just don't see that much green going down. Magic. Mike's in the Magic City. Oh, man. Octavius in the house. What's going on? How you doing, man? Good to see you here on a Monday Minutia, doing our thing here the day after the Atlanta Falcons go 2-2 with a 34-27 win over the Washington Commanders. And guess what? They already announced after the game, Jaden Daniels is starting next week. I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure. Red said, and we still number 2 in defense with all that running. Right. Exactly. Exactly. It's not smoke and mirrors, man. This defense is actually pretty good. I noticed the points show one thing, and this wasn't the 30-point Carolina stuff last week. Some of this stuff was kind of take together a couple of things. They probably deserved about 17 of those points. That was a lucky throw on 4th down that he made, but a great pass. Michael said, "I still want to see our kicker make kicks outside in the elements." That's gonna be important. I do. Let me see though. How many games do we have left that are gonna be outside? Let's see. Bills, no. 49ers will be outside. Patriots will be outside. The overseas, sure, that's going to be outside. Tampa will be outside. Cardinals have a dome, right? Don't the Cardinals have a dome? I think so. So that's 5. So 5 more times, and don't get me wrong, yeah, we do need to get that together and yeah, be able to kick in the elements. Jamal says, "I've been critical of D. Alford in the past, but he's a solid, versatile backup that can play outside of nickel. The problem is he's not an every game starter, but he's good at filling in short term. And it depends on your definition of short. I'm hoping definition of short means AJ had to readjust his equipment and was out for 2 plays. I cannot have D. Alford out there on a regular basis. Can't. Rick said at the beginning of the year, I said Pitts would be 68 catches, 977, and 8 tutties at the end of the year. You're not bad in the catches department. He's probably gonna have to step up the yards a little bit. And the 8 touchdowns, who knows? He might pull it out. Jamal says, I heard JJ say on the broadcast, Falcons have a number 1 pass defense. That's crazy to hear with AJ missing the last 2.5 games. This defense is really going to be good. And think about if AJ's out there, how much better that's going to be. Because I think they're taking some chances now. I think that's what they're doing. They're just saying, hey, Mike Hughes, D. Alford, let's give it a shot. And I'm surprised Mariota didn't try to do that more, but I guess Dan Quinn is just as stubborn. He said, I'm going to try to run the ball, run the ball, run the ball. So it is what it is. First super chat of the day, my brother, John Harris in the house from the eye test. Y'all heard me talk about his partner, Winston, earlier here. They will be on Wednesday doing their thing Wednesday evening, the night shift. And hopefully they will bring the fire and talk about this great win. He said, I want our offense to be unpredictable, to always attack, and stop all that backfield bankhead bouncing we do. Keep a foot in all the coaches' tail end. Y'all heard that from the brother. Y'all heard that from the brother, John Harris. Appreciate the super chat.
Super chat with Uncle. Super chat with Uncle. Super chat with Uncle. Super chat with Uncle.
Again, y'all check them out on Wednesday evenings. Carl says, Mooney, I'm sure he means a shell of himself, even when he's on the field, which is so crazy because those first few games last year, we were like, oh, we got one. And listen, again, we don't know about the body and how that works out, but your best ability is your availability. And right now he hadn't been available. So what are we supposed to say? It's hard to be crowded because I'm not out there getting my brains busted in, is why I'm slightly hesitant in going all the way in. But he got to stay healthy, though. For the weapon that he is, he's got to stay healthy. Jamal says, can you explain to me why we have our starters on special teams? Oh, my God. I know what you're talking about. I saw Jesse Bates out there, and I was scratching my head in confusion, not to mention Watts almost got hurt. It's so funny because when you mentioned that, and I saw 30. What is Watts doing out there on the special teams? Now, don't get me wrong. I realize, it's only 47. Was it 47 that be active? So you got to do what you got to do. But come on, y'all. You can't do that. You can't do that. That's great point. Great point. Brother John came in again. Appreciate you, John. He said, Zach says he likes it on the sidelines. Who knew? Oh.
Whoever my Falcons. Hey, that's my team. You wanna hear news, wanna hear songs, then chill with Uncle Steve. Forever my Falcons. Hey, that's my...
Oh, man, Zach making that stuff up. I told you before, Raheem said earlier they were going to move him down. Zach said in his presser it was his decision. So I don't know who you want to believe, bro. But whatever happened, I'm pretty sure you're not going to get him up there. And they actually had TJ Yates out there on the field too. They were saying he was supposed to go up in the booth, but he was out there as well. I guess after the firing of Ike Hilliard, a.k.a. Scapegoat. Oh, Matt Town, what's going on, Matt Town? How you doing, brother? Good to see you. Thank you for joining us here in Uncle Steve's Lounge. Carl says the only way this Falcons team is going to get respect is beating the Bills Monday night. They have to make a statement. Now, I agree with that. However, I don't want you to think that will be this. I don't think it's like Carolina-ish where if we lose, the season's over with. Carolina loss was horrible in so many ways. One, it was another division loss. Two, it was Carolina. So that was super deflating. I want us to win every game we line up and play. But I will say this. I think there are probably about 3 teams that I just say are notch above all others. I would have said 4, but one of the teams I'm thinking of has been kind of shaky this year. Philadelphia, obviously. Buffalo. And I don't care what his record says. If number 15 lines up to play for Kansas City and he's going to be in the game, Kansas City is always going to be considered elite to me until somebody shows me otherwise. So the asterisk would have been Baltimore, but they're suffering big time. They're suffering big time right now. I know it's early, but they can bounce back, so we'll see. Rick said we tied for the most sacks in the league, too. Oh, I didn't know that. Oh, that's good stuff. Let's see. I'll look that up while you're doing that. Carl says Buffalo Bills got the best pass defense. The Falcons got the second best. Yeah, man, these are some good numbers. I mean, these are some really good numbers, no doubt. We let's just keep it up. That's all I say. Let's keep it up. The sack number might be a little off. When you said the sacks, it looks like the Falcons have 10. The leader is Detroit. Detroit has 14 right now. So I didn't think we led them. Southside said, any update on Natron Brooks? Now, yesterday after the game, during the press conference, Raheem said Natron was walking around and he was with his son in the locker room. So I guess that's a good sign that he was walking around and his son was there. So that's good. Now that we have the bye, you're probably not going to get any information. He was talking about that in the press conference today, too. They don't have to give any full injury reports until next Wednesday? That's when the first injury report they have to give, so they don't have to give everything else. And these are decision times, too, folks. Is Storm Norton ready? Can we take him off the list? Is Troy Anderson going to be activated with the way that the linebackers are going? Or does he need to be activated? What kind of moves are we going to make? I mean, there are some things or some decisions that are going to have to be made. I do think they're going to bring Troy Anderson back. So that is going to be a spot that somebody's probably going to have to give up for sure. But as far as Natron Means, I'm thinking about the running back. Sorry. Natron Brooks is concerned. They saying he was walking around and he was with his son, so that's a good thing. And it might give you a couple of weeks to get over that. Because I know he's pretty decent on special teams. We need him. Mike says Carolina played us. Then they were reading their press clippings from the week before it happens. But Mike, I said that yesterday. I think we did the same thing, and I think it was worse. I think we did when we won in Minnesota. It was a great win. We're coming off a really nip and tuck battle with Tampa Bay. You know, the guys had to go on the road to one of the loudest places in the NFL, and they went there and kind of dominated. They chest out, smell like obsession or cool water, which is what I used to wear all the time. My wife, she changed up all my perfumes, cologne. She, I used to wear Fahrenheit when we first started dating. I don't know why. I just thought Fahrenheit was good, and I think she gave me the yeah, bro. If we go keep this dating thing going on, we're gonna have to get rid of that Fahrenheit. So that Fahrenheit lost out early in the game. But yeah, so they started smelling themselves, and that's when they walked into Carolina. And I think Carolina did the same thing. They like, oh, we beat this team 30-0. We really are that team. And they went into New England, and New England stifled them. So hey. George Texas boy says, how many players do you think come back after the bye week? I'm sure AJ has come back. The way listening to his body language or to his communication, sound like AJ will probably be back. He was acting like Mooney's injury might not be as serious, but we'll see. Hamstrings are tricky. We'll see on that. He did mention Storm Norton first when he started talking about players injured, so we'll see on him. I think you're definitely gonna get AJ back, and I'm pretty sure they're gonna try their best to get Troy Anderson back in the groove of things. I'm sure. Lisa Shepherd in the house. What's going on, Lisa? Hey, Steve, it's Victory Monday. I'm wearing my Victory Monday hoodie. There we go. That's what I'm talking about. I changed it up. I usually wear my jersey to the game, my Uncle Steve jersey, but I had to put my battle uniform on. I had my little red hoodie with the sleeveless arms. Not that I have guns. If anything, they're like pellets. But I wore that and have a little battle chain on. And I say, let me switch it up a little bit, see if we can get this thing done. And thank goodness for the wardrobe because we got to win. Rick said we could have used Troy on special teams, and Troy was good on special teams. So that's something we can look forward to. Alan Mike says Storm can sit. Wilkerson doing all right. It's not even about him sitting. It's about him just be depth, man. You never know. Just having him on the roster for depth. You're absolutely right. Elijah is doing the job. They have not missed a beat. They haven't. And Mike hasn't gone down that much this year. So, yeah, you're right. But sit, be on the team, but I guess he can sit. We'll see. O-line Tuna say, is Penix throwing it too hard? You know, it's a fair question because that was a critique I used to have of Mike Vick. When Mike was there and Mike would zip it in. I think looking at yesterday, I think that's just his natural throwing motion. I don't think he's trying to throw it extra hard. And when you go 20 or 26, I don't think the players are complaining about how strong is coming in. I really didn't see aside of the interception, which I'm telling y'all, that interception, dude, and you can see Penix when he threw it. If that thing was 3 inches higher, that was a walk-in touchdown for Drake. If it was 3 inches higher. So I like the fact that we saw some different throws from Penix yesterday. But to answer your question, I don't think so. I don't think it is. It's a fair question to ask when you're struggling and your receivers aren't catching. But I think he's throwing it in there pretty good. Good velocity for them to catch. The only one that, was having some of the little drops was Ray Ray. We got to get Ray Ray back on track with these catches, man. Rick says, any chance we bring back C.J. Henderson? That's a good question. I was surprised that they cut him. I was wondering. I said, dang, why they cut C.J.? Very good question. Jamal says Bijan basically said the same thing. He said they were feeling themselves after all the praise they got from beating Minnesota. I believe that's it. That's fair. And remember, y'all, this is a young Falcons team. This is not a veteran-laden team. These guys, for the most part, are young. And because we haven't won in 7 years, most of these guys don't know what the playoffs are. Jesse know what the playoffs are. Jake Matthews know what the playoffs are. Leonard Floyd knows. But most of these other guys, They don't know what it is. So games like that, and I've heard Raheem and other coaches say it. You can't get too high, can't get too low. What do they say? The 24-hour rule. Celebrate like crap that day, but you gotta put it, stuff it, and game plan for the next team, man. Anthony Booker's in here. What's up, Ant? He said, "What's up, bro? Steve just tuning in, excited about the win yesterday. My question: did Darnell Mooney get injured yesterday? He did. He did get injured. He had a hamstring. He did not play the last part of the game. I saw him walking around out there, and it looked like he might have been trying to loosen it up. But as far as long term, not sure exactly, what's going to go on. Maybe with this week or so, he has a chance to kind of heal that thing up. According to Raheem, he said it didn't look like it was too bad, but they don't know until they, the guys come in today and tomorrow at Flowery Branch, and then they're off for the week. Tuna says Penix throwing with confidence is a thing of beauty. So much pop on those throws. And Tuna, I make this statement with all due respect to everybody else who's ever put on the Falcons uniform. I'm not saying he's the most successful. I'm not saying he's better than anybody else, but he's the most talented quarterback throwing the ball that we've had. Bart could throw the ball from here to nobody had a long ball like Bart. Bart had some good completion percentage, but Bart struggled probably more than I've seen Mike struggle from the jump. But to see the way the arm talent, the arm angles, the way the passes go in there, I like Michael Penix. Mike Vick, don't even need to talk about his legs. He had a cannon, but you didn't know where that thing was going all the time. And of course, Matt is the guy. If it was anybody that I could take his mentality, everything from the neck up from Matt Ryan, I would take it all day. Matt didn't have the strongest arm in the world, but Matt played a smart game especially once he kind of got past year 3 and 4. So I just think my Penix has a very talented arm, and I think the sky's the limit for him. Alan Mike says, I like to see Penix run a little bit more. Not a lot, but I like it. And I don't think, that's the crazy thing, right? And I watched him in Indiana, and I watched him at Washington. Mike didn't run that much. He ran a little, but he didn't. But I think he'll do like he did yesterday when they had the little thing where he had to run for the first down. I think he'll do that. But I think Mike's a pocket passer. And that's fine if he keeps doing like he did yesterday. But I think he'll run if he has to. But I just think he wants to scan the field, stay in the pocket, let his talented wide receivers, his uber talented running backs, and his unicorn do their job out there and catch the ball if it was up to him. Clayton Murray in the house. What's up, Steve? 2-2. I'll take it. We got 13 more games. I just want 8 more wins, better than 7-10 brothers. I'm trying to tell you. If I hear another 7-10, man, I'm gonna just lose my mind. And not that 8 and 9 sound better, but I gotta have more wins than losses this year. I'm with you. He said the Bills will be a test. 1, Sunday night defense. 2, Zach, stay down on the field. Oh, he ain't going back. Better job keeping Tyler in the scheme, but better calls at times. And then he said, and we should be more successful. Absolutely. Rick says he was just trying to put it over the defender when he threw the pitch. Oh, I knew exactly what he was trying to do. No criticism. Listen, I love the fact that he was trying to go downfield. He was trying to get it over there. Oh, zero criticism for him trying. I just he just needed just a little bit more air. Because you could see it. You could see it. I mean, Drake was wide open. And I think he thought he was putting enough touch on it when he probably should have threw it a little bit further out. But that's fine. Sometimes you do that. Tuna says 2 Falcons wins yesterday. New Zealand Falcons crowned 2005 New Zealand Bird of the Year. Hey, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Good job. Good job. Things going on, my friend. We love it. Lisa said, what was your favorite play from yesterday? Bijan breaking ankles was a thing of beauty, but that bomb to London was amazing. I think out of all my plays, for real, I think Tyler going around that corner and looking at safety and looking at the safety coming over towards him, and he was like, "Dog, don't do it. Don't do it. Just don't do it." And he had to show him who he was. For me, that was like the stamp on the game to say we are tougher than you, we are better than you, and we're gonna run through you. That was to me a defining play yesterday. Don't get me wrong, the ball to Drake was beautiful. Bijan doing the thing where he ended up doing the handstand in the end zone was cool. Loved the little dump pass to Bijan. They were dogging Bijan on the radio yesterday, talking about he wasn't fast. I like, man, take that play any day. But yeah, I like that the Tyler touchdown where he gave old boy the business on the 1 yard line. I love that. Carl says, I agree. Pennett's definitely the most talented throwing the ball. He's special. Absolutely. Yeah, he is. He is. That's not even, making anything up on that. Tuna says, I'm willing to give Mike all the time in the world to develop. Hope fans and the media do too. I don't have much hope based on the response to the Carolina game. The only thing, Tuna, it's we fans want 50 to zip, 40 to 3. That's what fans want. Fans want the perfect game. You hold a team to 50 yards. You get 17 sacks and get all the stats. And fantasy football probably hasn't helped. I love fantasy football. I'm not dogging it. I'm just saying, but it hasn't helped because I think they like to see the numbers. And I like to see the wins. That's why the Minnesota game to me was the perfect example. Nobody really, aside of Bijan, nobody really had an awesome day that day offensively. But we won the game and we played our game and we played a tough, gritty game. It was like almost like a college like a wishbone against another wishbone team. Just played like that. So I think the fans are going to be fine. But I will say this, Tuna, you got to win. Winning keeps them involved. Y'all remember last year, 6-3, actual second place in the NFC at the time. Kirk Cousins was Kirko Chains. He wasn't even Kirk Cousins then. He was Kirko Chains, and we were all falling for it. Kirk doing the swag surf with everybody on the sidelines. Everybody all hype. All it takes is a losing streak to take that way. And by the time the year was over with, they had zapped all of us. They got to do better. Jamal says, I think Wilkinson has done a good job. Do you think the Falcons should trade Caleb in the offseason? That could free up some money to re-sign Tyler and Caden Ellis. I think them signing Caleb to that type of contract probably suggests that they might try to do something next year where they kind of do another one like that, where they might cut some of the salary and then toss in some extra money on the backside. I don't think Caleb is a Lindstrom type guy. I think if you can take Caleb $8 to $10 million a year, I think he'll be fine. So no, I don't think they should trade him. I'm gonna get you used to a reality. I really don't think they're gonna re-sign Tyler Algier. I don't. I wish they would. But you got Drake coming up. You're probably gonna lose Kyle Pitts, so you're gonna have to replace him with somebody decent. And I do think they're going to re-sign Caden Ellis. Caden Ellis might get like a 1 or 2 year contract, and he deserves it. But I don't think Tyler's going to be here, y'all. And that's not a downer. I just don't think he is, because somebody's going to pick him up. Unless the Falcons hurry up and sign him before the year is out, Tyler's agent is like, cool, let me test out the waters. And I think Tyler will easily get $5 to $7 million on the free market out there. And I just don't think the Falcons are going to invest that much in the backfield, knowing that they got to pay Bijan here pretty soon. Rick says Pitts has been the most consistent player on the offense this season. That's a very fair statement. Very fair. Dre, what's going on, man? Dre says, Uncle Steve, that win was much needed. We need to stack some wins from here on out. That is the term. Stack up the wins. Again, like for the 3 year, all it takes is a nice little 3-game winning streak. That'll get the fan base going. And I don't want to look too far ahead, but I'm telling y'all, if we can sneak by this Buffalo San Francisco thing 1-1, preferably 2-0, I think this team could be something. Could be something special. Mike says, I can see the cobwebs on picks, but slowly the webs are coming off. Kyle was out there blocking yesterday, too. Got to give him a lot of credit. He's out there blocking. Alberto, what's going on, brother? Good to see you, man. He said, do you think October will be like Kurttober from last year, or will it be Penixtober? Don't have the same ring to it. Look, I think we're in for a do-rag fall, man. If we can just keep that consistency going on with Mike, I'm not worried about trying to duplicate. Matter of fact, I want him to overachieve with what Kurt was doing, not from the number standpoint. I don't think Penix is the guy that's going to have 500 yards a game, and that's going to be his that's his ceiling. I think he's a guy, if he can give me 20, if he gives me 20 for 26, 313, and 2 touchdowns, I'll take that all day. Rick says Tyler Algier is a dog. He looks faster as the game goes on. Absolutely. He does. He said, nah, keep Caleb. I like Caleb, especially in the run game. Bijan not known for his speed. They credit him being fast. The guy that chased him down ran a 4.3 at the combine. Bijan ran a 4.4, and that's fine too. Because at the end of the day, like I said, I was laughing at it from that standpoint, but I'll deal with him not being that fast. That's fine. Keep doing what you do, Bijan. Southside said, who does Buffalo play this week? That is actually a really good question. Let's see who they play. Buffalo plays week 5. I think they play they play New England at Buffalo. So they play the Sunday night game. They play a Sunday night game this week against Buffalo. Well, New England plays at Buffalo. That's what I meant to say. Clayton says, I hope this is our last year with Zach Robinson. Need to start now to think of a replacement. Kind of makes me pause with some of that, y'all. This was the same rhetoric we were having about Kyle Shanahan a year and a half in. This was the exact rhetoric we were having. And then they finally broke through. They started 1-2 as well. They lost to Tampa Bay the first game. It's so weird. I'm not ready to give totally up on Zach Robinson in the all-dreaded pistol formation quite yet. Because if you can do what they did yesterday, that's fine. I think they got their heads out there behind yesterday. I think I just can't. I'm not prescribing to it yet. Let's wait to see how it plays out. My brother Lamont's in the house. said, hey, man, if Bijan's yards from scrimmage for the year equates to a William Andrews type of season, how much of an effect on wins do you think that'll have? I think if Bijan does anything like William did that one year where he ran for dang near 1,500 yards and had about 600 yards on little swing passes and stuff like that, I'm telling you, the sky's the limit. And I think Bijan mirrors some of that William had. I mean, William was also kind of it's kind of weird. He probably was more of a Tyler runner, but Andrews could put him up and down too. He could put him up and down with the best of them. Ask your moms and your dads about him if you don't know. He was a bad boy. Lisa said London was doing some of the dirty work too. I think he actually likes to block. Yeah, you can see Drake. And I think they get them to buy into that because they're telling them, listen, y'all, we got somebody back here that can run this ball like nobody's business. And you see it. When they have the gaps in there, man, Bijan, his stop, his shift is uncommonly good. You got Saquon Barkley saying nobody shifts like Bijan. That's when you think about that one. T. Will in the house. T. Will is on every day talking all Atlanta sports, reviewing movies. T. Will does it all. Y'all make sure y'all check T. Will out on it's 4x ATL Sports. I definitely think that he is in it, but put it in the chat for me again, T. Will, because I could be wrong on there. But I know he's on YouTube, and then I know he goes on Facebook as well. But y'all make sure y'all check out T. Will. He says he thinks Penix is going to be great. I concur with that. I do think that is the case. Tuna says, side note, have the unis grown on the fans? They have on me. The blackout unis are nice. Yeah, oh, absolutely. I think they're nice. I think everybody wants to go back to the old school red helmets with the old school logo. A lot of people like that in the black over the newer Falcon thing. For some reason, they always do that. I see you, T. Will. For my ATL Sports 1. That is the handle. Y'all make sure y'all check them out and subscribe to the channel because T. Will bring it all the time. All the time. Jamal says, I'm glad Penix and the offense bounced back. Some of the hate and narratives people are saying about Penix after one bad game was crazy. Jamal, those are times that I swear, y'all think I'm joking. Almost like if a drug or alcohol to an alcoholic, you just got to put it down and turn it off. After that Carolina game, and granted, we had to drive home. Me and Lo drove back, and the one thing we were saying, like, man, boy, it's gonna be a rough time online. And you go online, and everybody is like giving their 4 cents from. And again, it starts from some of the basics thing. Is Mike, should he be in the pistol? Zach Robinson is the scourge of the earth. Raheem Morris is the worst coaching hire. We should have hired Bill Belichick. Why is Rich McKay still making decisions? Terry Fontenot can't have a winning season. Why did we draft Bijan over Jalen Carter? Why did they tear down that church and built the Benz? Why did they do it? Never ends. It's a negative cycle, and there's some folks that just have that stuff on repeat that I just have to turn it off, Jamal. I have to literally turn it off and then just kind of start over on Thursday or Friday. Because some people live, swim, drink, inject all that negativity. I just can't do it. Not on that level. Do I get upset? Absolutely. Do I have critiques? Absolutely. But it's probably over with by Monday, most of the time. Tuna says Mike Tober. Now that's something. I'd go with Mike Tober instead of, yeah, that'll work. Rounds one is in the house. He said, I worry about Drake. He takes a lot of hard shots. But you know what? Drake's a tough kid, man. Drake is a tough kid. I like Drake's moxie yesterday. And everybody was talking about him being a little less quiet, a little more quiet yesterday. And like, oh man, he's mad that Ike Hilliard got fired and stuff like that. I don't know. Who cares? They won the game, and I'm sure Drake is like, hey, we won the game. It's all good. Rick said that's going to be a tough game for them. New England may take some of the fight out of Buffalo before they get to Atlanta. I hope they do. I hope they do. Hey, they put up 41, albeit it's Carolina. But, Clay says, college calling his Zach Robinson name. Please take the money. Now, y'all, if y'all doing that, now you got to have a backup plan. Y'all be ready to fire everybody, and I hear you, but give me the backup plan. And don't tell me Cliff Kingsbury. Don't tell me names of people who want to be head coaches. Give me the person who's going to take his place. I want to hear that. Lamont says, I always thought William Andrews was an Earl Campbell type bruiser, but with a smoothness in catching the ball out of the backfield. Yeah, if Bijan has that kind of work, it will go a long way. If he does that, we're gonna be fine. We're gonna be in great shape. We're gonna be talking football in mid-January. What's up, Joe? What's going on, brother? He said more 7 to 8 yard quick passes to Pitts and let him work. And if you notice, Joe, they did a couple of those passes where he went out and just turned around, like the touchdown where we did the little fake block and then just rolled out. I like that. I like that type of look. I'm just becoming less and less of a screen pass guy, especially the wide receiver screen. That I don't know why that bothers me so much. Of course, if it works, it's genius. But I just see too many times that I don't know. And I know Ray screwed one of them up yesterday. They actually had the blocking for that one, but Ray had to catch the ball. But I hear what you're saying about that with Pitts. Tudor said I had to log off for a week. Yeah, I do because I know what's coming, and I know people will reach back to, and even as far as Arthur Blank needs to sell the team. I heard that last week when we lost to Carolina 30-0. I heard people say Arthur Blank needs to sell the team. 30-0. And for my last two guys, Lamont and Joe, that we've been, man, 30-0 ain't nothing. And we done seen some whoopings in our Falcon days from when we were younger. Try that Rams 59-0. Try some of them Saints bashings we were getting early when Drew them were getting themselves together and everything. Man, and the Carolina whooping that we took from Cam Newton about 10 years ago. And that ain't this 30-0 again. Nobody's trying to act like it's not important and stuff, but y'all act like, dude, big team. Every team has some horrible games. The teams that we're talking about right now that are top teams, Philly, Buffalo, Kansas City, all been whooped. All of them. So you can't just take one game and extrapolate it out to the whole history of the franchise. That's silly talk. Silly talk. Rick says, I knew Washington was in trouble how we went out against Carolina. I thought so too, because I thought their mentality was, the Falcons' mentality was going to be much better, and it was. Clayton said Penix a tough quarterback all the game. Commentators kept saying it. He took a hit while throwing. Oh, yeah, he did. I know the pass you're talking about. He did take a big hit. And again, y'all got to remember, I think Mike lost it against Carolina. We were right there on the sideline. He kind of lost it on a couple of those plays, especially the pick six was horrible. He lost it, and I think he got out of sorts. And maybe he needed to flush that down, take that cleanse, flush it all out, and start over. And I think he did great yesterday. All right, Big Mike, you be good, man, in that gym. Work it out, brother. Rick says, Oprah for president. Jimmy Pond. Y'all, but Jimmy, y'all leave him alone, man. Man, appreciate you, brother. Man, Lamont, you the man. Man. I gotta give you one of my sounders for that, man. Lamont coming with it. I'm gonna give him one of the oldies, man. This was dedicated to Marcus Mariota and Desmond Ritter.
We're just ordinary QBs. We don't know which way to throw. 'Cause we're just ordinary QBs. I think it's time for us to go. Time to go. I think it's time to go. 'Cause we can't throw. I think it's time to go. We can't throw.
John Legend came to the house to sing that. He let me sing lead though. Like Chrissy was in the background talking about,
I don't think we can throw.
Thank you, Lamont. Appreciate you, brother. You the man, man. Lamont says, I keep telling people those early days, man, Steve, man, they just don't know. I'm trying to think what year was that, if you and Joe online, what when the Rams beat us. I remember watching that. It was 59-0. And that might have been, I don't know whether that was Pat Hayden or Vince Ferragamo. And they beat Atlanta 59-0. Now that's a whooping. That's a whooping if you want to call it one. That was crazy. that was crazy. Tudor said, look at the stats of the Carolina game. Doesn't look like a whooping on paper, just a game where everything went the other way. And you're absolutely right. If you're a stat guy and didn't look at the score, you would have thought that game was 17-10 or something like that. But that was one of those everything that can go wrong will go wrong. And that's what happened. That's what happened. Yeah, I was laughing at the song. Oh man. Because it's saying I gotta get some more stuff like that in there. Yeah, Lamont says, I remember. I can't call. Yeah, I think it was Pat Hayden. And you might be right. I'll get it right. I'll look it up by the next time I come in here and check that out. But I know, so again, for those people that talking about, that was the worst that's the worst performance in Falcons franchise history. I say, y'all just saying stuff. It's just saying stuff. That's why what's going on, man. How you doing, brother? He said, I'm at work. Yeah, at work, man. I hope I didn't bother. I hope I didn't disturb you there with that one. Oh, man. Antonio, what's going on, brother? He said, I'm glad the Falcons handled their business yesterday because I couldn't take another week of ridiculous Falcon takes. It's hard, man. It's hard, Antonio. You already know. It's hard. You got to hear all this drama with all this stuff. Jamal says, I remember the season after the 98. Oh, yeah, Super Bowl. That was one of the worst seasons. Luckily, we got big as a result. That 90, and if you remember, I don't know whether it was the first game or the second game, Jamal, that your namesake tore his ACL. That first game of the year, it was against the Giants. I think it was the Giants or the Cowboys. I think it was the Giants where he tore his ACL, and then you knew the rest of the season was going to be it. That was going to be it after that. So that was ridiculous. So I just challenge anybody who start talking about how horrible 30-0 was. But that's why I felt confident knowing that they know what the mistakes were. They fixed them. They adjusted. And yesterday was the kind of team that I was used to. And folks, let me get this as I said it before this started. We're not in the age of the 20-point win where teams are going to be doing that all the time. Matter of fact, y'all might want to get ready. When y'all see 30-0, 41-10, something like that, those games are going to be far and few between. 24 of the 32 teams are one possession away from a win from each other. It's only about 4 teams right now in the NFL where I would say, ooh, I'm not sure if I'm going to pick them in any game this year. So, look, whether it's 34-27, 34-33, 10-9, 21-22, 21-20, we better take every win we can get, y'all. Every win. Every win. King said, what's good, brother? What's good? A win is a win. Let's just progress, please. That's all I ask. And King is right. Dirty Podcast, Dirty Falcon Podcast. Y'all make sure y'all check King out. I want to see y'all send him some love on his podcast on YouTube because King be going up there spitting and spitting that knowledge. And I want to see his station grow up there and come up and get everybody over there and fired up about his Falcon fandom because brother be bringing it. David says the first game was against Minnesota in 99. Say Dallas. It was Dallas. It wasn't New York. It was Dallas. You're absolutely right. I'm sorry, Dave. Yeah, Dave's somebody else I know I can depend on. And where's Tidy when I need him? Tidy's the human encyclopedia as well. Tidy from Atlanta Bird Gang. They have those stats kind of like I have them loose, but sometimes I have to place the year every now and then. I know it happened, but I might not be remember. It was Dallas. That wasn't the Giants. It was Dallas that he and if I'm not mistaken, wasn't that a Monday night game? If I'm not mistaken, David? I think that was a Monday night game, if memory serves me correctly. But I remember most of those dominations because I think coming off that year, and I remember that was before the Sunday night game. So Monday night was pretty much the only prime time game. We didn't have the Thursday games or whatever. So the Falcons coming into that next year after the Super Bowl, I think they had like 3 Monday night games in there. Okay, the Minnesota was Monday night. Okay, my bad. Minnesota was. I knew it was one of them coming down. But we're gonna be all right, y'all. I think going to this bye, take care of these injuries. Everybody heal up. Keep that winning mentality. Whatever Zach them did this week, keep it up. Take it even another notch up because the challenge is going to be real. I take this Buffalo game and Buffalo and San Francisco, quite honestly. I take both of those challenges real in there. What's going on, Shaka Zulu? How you doing, brother? Appreciate you up in here, man. Let the guys get their rest. Turn off the game. The game is over with. Don't worry about Bijan's run, Pennett's having good numbers. Throw all of that out. Go out there, enjoy yourself with the family, have a good time, enjoy your break, come back, concentrate on Buffalo. That's how we have to do games. We have to do it. 24-hour rule. That's over with. On to the next game. I appreciate everyone joining me here on the Monday Minutia here in Uncle Steve's Lounge. I appreciate the love yesterday. A lot of good talk, a lot of good conversation today. If you are watching this afterwards, please put in the comments what's the one change you would make coming out of the bye to continue to winning. A lot of people agree with me. I was thinking that we need to possibly look for a replacement for that second cornerback on the team. So a lot of people talk about wide receiver, things of that nature. But if you're watching this after the live, please put the comments under the YouTube video. I appreciate it. Or the Facebook video if you're watching. Appreciate everyone joining us today. Have a great week. We will probably talk to you on Sunday. Might be a special show that we have, kind of just a recap of the first quarter of the year. Do our normal Sunday chill. We haven't done a Sunday chill in a while. We kind of mix sports and entertainment and things of that nature. So hopefully we can have some fun and watch all the other teams beat each other up while they're doing that. All right. Until then, everyone have a blessed week. We'll talk later. Falcons 34, Washington 27. The Falcons are 2-2, second place in the NFC South. Let's go, Falcons. Rise up.
You're in Uncle Steve's life.